We're back.
Are you afraid of the dark? Are you scared?
Oh man, am I excited for this. Guys, welcome back to the BBR, the GlitchhxCity Battle Royale, season number 3. It's your boy, Grandmaster D-Ray. We're back, guys. If you were supporters of us, of our run last season, you will know that we fell a little bit short. We gotta address the elephant in the room. We did end up making finals. We were in the championship game against Matt O'Shea, and unfortunately, we did take the L. Congratulations to the Montreal Milotic for being season 2 champions, but we're salty, guys, and we're ready to roll. I'm super excited for season number 3. It's gonna be a brand new season, a brand new team. And if you're excited for this new season, do me a massive favor and shadow claw that thumbs up button. And if you're new, por favor, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications to the bell button so you get notified every single time we post a new video. I totally just dropped my notepad. That was that noise. I'm hyped, guys. I'm flustered in the face. It's been a long time coming. I'm excited for this project to finally come to light for you guys all to see. Obviously, if you came from the draft stream, you guys will know that we have expanded the league to 20 coaches. Oh my lord. So we're gonna have to get a little bit more creative with our team building process. Even though the Crown Tundra did give us a lot more Pokemon to work with, we still got to get kind of creative. So it's gonna be a good time. I did say let me just talk about the league a little bit before we get started. I did say that we have 20 coaches. This season's still gonna be 12 weeks. It's gonna be the same format as we were before. It's gonna be, even though we have 20 coaches, it is only gonna be 8 teams that make playoffs, and your boy is gonna be working hard to get back to the finals matchup. And if Matt ends up being there, then Matt ends up being there. We'll take him down this time. I think we have the team do it. Let's talk about the team we drafted, why we drafted it, what our thought process was during the draft, and with each pick moving forward. And if you're excited, if you want to show support, again, hit the thumbs up button. So we were second pick of this draft. Very fortunate in Generation 8. Very, very fortunate. So with the second pick, I don't obviously get to pick whatever I want, but depending on whoever the first person is going to pick, which ended up being the coach of the Arkansas Pig Knights, I basically get like anything. So he ended up picking Landorus Therian. So I had to pick, without a doubt, in my opinion, probably the most dangerous Pokemon in the draft league format right now, making its return from the other generations into the Crown Tundra. With the very first pick, the San Diego Snugglers, and the second overall spot picked up Tornadus Therian. I'm so excited to have this Pokemon. It's going to be really, really cool. Tornadus Therian, now with access to heavy duty boots as an item paired up with Regenerator, I no longer have to worry about hazards, which means that I can come in and get out and receive my 1/3 health back. Means that this thing is going to be super tough to take down. Very excited for it. It gets amazing coverage. They gave it nasty plot, bro. They give it nasty plot, which can make it a very serious offensive threat. It has access to obviously Hurricane, Air Slash, Heat Wave, gets access to Icy Wind, Superpower. It's a great Pokemon. It gets access to Taunt, U-Turn, Defog. It could be supportive, it could be utility, it could be offensive, it could be a sweeper, it could be a breaker, it could be whatever it is you need on the team, which makes it such a threat in draft league format. And I'm so excited to have this Pokemon. I'm gonna name him Mustachio. Mustachio is gonna be putting in the finest of work, and I'm really excited for it. Really, really excited for it. So the thing about having 20 coaches is that it's going to take a really long time to get to pick. I got to pick whatever I wanted, which is really nice because I had no intention of picking Landorus Therian. I think that mon is great. I just don't think that it's worthy of like the top 5 pick in my opinion. Maybe top 4, maybe top 4. But happy to wait until the very end of the draft. Let us sneak back and come back to us. My options were thin, but we were so fortunate. I had a plan before the draft even started to pick these 3 Pokemon that I knew no one really was going to look at, because now that I got my new toy, Everyone else is going to have new toy syndrome. Oh, this Pokemon is back. I'm going to try out this mon. So we were able to be the benefactors of that and pick up a Pokemon that is going to be... I said in my finals game that I wanted to get back to finals this season without Dracovish. I knew for a fact on matchup that Pokemon carried me all the way to finals. That Pokemon is brain dead. Dracovish is so good. I'm so excited for the coach that drafted it. It's just on matchup, just wins. So I wanted to do it with a different Pokemon. And what better way to do it is with Dracovish's little brother. So with the second pick, we picked up DRACOZOLT. So with DRACOZOLT, we went for Dracovish to DRACOZOLT, and I'm so excited for it. I'm here for this. So this is the electric dragon version of our Dracovish friend. Dracovish gets access to Fisher's Rend, gets boosted if you go first. DRACOZOLT gets access to Bolt Beak, doubles if you go first. Dracovish has Strong Jaw, 1.5 times boost to his attack, meaning Fisher's Rend. Hustle on DRACOZOLT, 1.5 times boost. It can miss, but it's still a 1.5 times boost. They do a lot of the same stuff. One gets Strong Jaw, one gets Hustle. They both get Sand Rush. So that is the main goal here. Spoilers moving forward. But DRACOZOLT is going to be a phenomenal breaker, phenomenal cleaner. I'm very excited to have it on this team. Dracovish is obviously much better because there's a far less switch-ins to water than there is to electric, because every team's going to have a ground type. It's kind of one of the most important pieces to have on a draft. I acknowledge that, but I can support DRACOZOLT enough for it to be able to do what it loves to do best. And it still gets pretty good coverage. It gets access to obviously Bolt Beak, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Iron Tail, a lot of really cool fun stuff that you can pack on DRACOZOLT, which gives it a little bit more versatility in that sense. So I'm excited to have it, really excited to have it. So I wanted to keep the Sand Rush ability alive, and one of the staples of this team. I don't want to make this a sand team, but I do want to have sand on the team reliably. I ended up picking up this Pokemon in the last draft, but because I didn't plan ahead and I didn't count my points correctly, I had to drop it. And so I'm gonna pick it up again, and this time it's staying on the team. I'm very excited to pick up, welcome back, Hippowdon is back on the team. This was in the draft slides last season, and unfortunately we had to drop it, like I said, because I didn't do math very well and I didn't count my points. So make sure when you guys are drafting, you count your freaking points. So Hippowdon is a main staple on this team. I'm very excited to have it, to pair it up with not only DRACOZOLT to get that Sand Rush, but to be able to chip things down for Tornadus with the Regenerator ability. When it comes in, it hits something, and gets out and gets that Regenerator health back, which is a really nice pairing. Very good defensive piece. Now I have access to Stealth Rock, gets reliable recovery and slack off, gets access to Whirlwind so it's not setup fodder, gets access to Ice Fang for some coverage against some flying types, as well as Stone Edge, which is really nice. So this thing is a phenomenal physical wall, a really sturdy physical pure ground type wall. And I'm very excited to have it. It's going to be a really good reliable stealth rocker, a really good reliable check to a lot of physical offensive threats. So super excited to have Hippowdon on the team. You'll notice I'm very ice weak now. All three of them just get blown away by ice types. I will cover that later in the draft. So we got Torn, and then at the end, and then second round started, and we got DRACOZOLT at the very end, and then we went back up and we picked up Hippowdon on the very beginning of round 3. And I don't know how the hell this happened. I plan on getting my ice resist here. I plan on getting my water type. I didn't end up getting the water type that I wanted because this Pokemon was there. It had no business in the 4th round, but we're not complaining. We're going to take it anyway. We had to give up our wish to have the water type we wanted to pick up this Pokemon that needed to get picked up. We picked up Clefable. Clefable was in the very 4th round. It's amazing pairing with what I've got going on right now. With Magic Guard, it ignores the chip damage that we get from sand. Phenomenal. And being able to use the Magic Guard ability to not get Life Orb damage would be really nice. Residual damage from hazards. It gets toxic or burn. It doesn't take damage from that. So good. So it can be a really good offensive threat. It could be a really bulky Pokemon with access to Wish and Teleport and Soft Boil, which is really nice. This Pokemon is so incredibly versatile, and with its moveset, access to Mystical Fire for incoming Steel types. I don't necessarily always want to stay in on those, but there's an option in case we need it. A setup threat, a bulky Pokemon, a supportive Pokemon. It was just too much to ignore. Unfortunately, we did have to kind of pass up on the Pokemon that we wanted to take here, which was Blastoise, which would have been great to have another hazard remover outside of Tornadus and being able to have that ice type resist. But with Clefable here, I couldn't say no, because I know for a fact someone else would have saw this one and been like, what is that doing there? I'm gonna pick that up, just like we did. So am I going to regret this moving forward? No, because I'm really happy to have Clefable on this team. It's a phenomenal Pokemon. If you were to compare Blastoise with Clefable, Clefable obviously is much better, especially for this team. Now I have my Dragon and my Fairy. I just need to grab a Steel type for later. So I'm happy to have Clefable on the team. Phenomenal Pokemon is going to be a huge staple for this team. So now with the next pick moving forward, I had to think about that ice type weakness. Now that we missed out on Blastoise, I got to think of something. It would also be nice to get a ground resist, because right now my ground resist / immunity is Tornadus. Tornadus is having to do a lot of rolls right now, and I would rather have Tornadus have that versatility and flexibility to do what it does best, and that's wreak havoc. So with the next pick, we decided to pick up Araquanid. Araquanid is going to give us webs, which is really nice for Dracozolt. That way I don't have to always run. If there's a week that hustles a lot better to run over Sandrush, I can use webs to make sure that Dracozolt is one of the faster Pokemon in the game, which is really, really nice. And access to its ability Water Bubble, which means that now it's a fire type and a Scald type switch, a Scald move switch in. Can't get burnt. So it's really, really nice. It's resistant to water, so I have a Scald switch in that's super reliable now. And not being burnt means that it's physical attacking, boosted liquidation, water bubble boost attack, boost the power of water type moves, which means that stab liquidation comes off even harder on this thing. It even gets boosted scalds, which is really nice. So being able to set up Sticky Web, be a reliable fire type and a Scald type switch in, as well as a ground resistance, is really, really nice. And it doesn't, my team doesn't really necessarily care too much about offensive rock types, because I do have a Hippowdon, so that's a thing. That's really, really nice. So yeah, really happy to have Araquanid on the team. Again, am I going to regret not having Blastoise? I would say no. Blastoise is a great rapid spinner. Blastoise would have been awesome to use for Shell Smash, but I'm really happy to have Clefable and Araquanid over Blastoise. One, I'll draft it in the future. I'm really excited to have it with Shell Smash, but it just wasn't meant to be. The pressure of taking Clefable was just too grand. I had to have that Pokemon on this team. So with the next pick, we decided to pick up a little bit more of an offensive presence that my opponents would need to prep for at a low tier value, because I've spent a lot of points so far. I've got 300 points out of my 1100 left, so I had to start thinking a little bit more and the value aspect of things, and I still wanted that offensive threat. So with the next pick, we picked up Baby Weavile, aka Sneasel. Sneasel is a pre-evolution Pokemon that doesn't necessarily always want to run Eviolite. It usually wants to have Life Orb or Band or Focus Sash. Focus Sash may be a little bit more limited because I have Sand, but Band and Life Orb is a little bit more viable with this team. Really phenomenal Pokemon to spam Knockoff, to spam Triple Axle, to spam Ice Shard. It's a great Swords Dance sweeper in some matchups. So Sneasel provides that offensive presence on offensive ground types, flying types, grass types. It's going to be really, really nice, as well as being able to pressure those psychic types is going to be amazing for this team. So it's a low tier value to be able to still apply pretty heavy offensive pressure. So I feel like that was the best way to go. We kind of give up having a bulky dark type with a very offensive dark type. So having an offensive ice type is really, really nice as well for most drafts, because a lot of teams have a really hard time switching into ice types in the first place. I mean, look at my team. So now we kind of mitigated that with Araquanid, but Sneasel is going to be amazing for this team. So I wanted to get another ice type resist. And if you look at my team right now, I have rocks on Hippowdon, I have rocks on Clefable. My removal right now is non-existent. The only way I can get rid of hazards is with Tornadus. So I wanted to be able to, 3 things. 1, take more advantage of my sand. 2, be able to remove hazards. And 3, be able to set hazards. So with the next pick, we decided to pick up the GOAT, Colossal. Colossal is going to be really good on this team. Colossal gives me access to Spikes, Stealth Rock, and Rapid Spin all in one mon, which means that with 7 picks in, we now have every form of hazard. We have Rocks, Spikes, and Sticky Web. So good. Being able to be a reliable rocker to take that role off of Hippowdon or Clefable, very nice. Being able to set up Spikes. Some teams don't appreciate Spike stack. very, very nice. Being able to reliably remove hazards, very, very nice. Being able to switch on ice types, very, very nice. And it is a rock ground type, which means that under sand, it does get a 50% speed def boost, which means that now this thing is incredibly thick, and with wish support with Clefable, this thing is going to be pretty hard to take down if you don't have a really good physical threat, or if you don't have a really good water type that's going to threaten this thing offensively without having to run a Passion Berry if I don't want to run heavy duty boots for whatever reason in that week, and still get advantage of my steam roll. This thing has an ability that when it's hit by a water type or a fire type, which is resisted, it gets a +6 boost to its speed. Steam Engine. So now I have a reliable fire type switch in that is not Araquanid. So if you have to think twice about spamming those fire type hits, or else all of a sudden Colossal is fast Colossal. And so very excited to have this thing on the team. It's a good defensive piece to the team. Very excited to use Colossal this season. So with the next pick, let me remind myself a little bit. So, oh yeah. So we have our water, we have our fire. We wanted to be able to complete a regenerator core. Before Clefable, fun fact, I actually had planned to pick Amoonguss. I thought Amoonguss would have been really nice to have on the team to be able to have a grounded poison type to soak up toxic spikes, because I have a pretty thick team right now. To be able to have a good electric type switch in for Tornadus, and being able to resist water types would be really, really nice. To put things to sleep with Spore reliably would have been awesome. Just have a second piece of my regenerator core. But now that we spent all those points on Clefable was a big part of this team. So having to pick Clefable and the fact that it was in the 4th round really changed my plan drastically, and I'm very excited that we had Clefable, but it did really have to change things up. I still wanted to have similar role, and we had to dip down in some value. At this point, I also was considering my steel type. My steel type that I was considering was Doublade. It was either A, take the Pokemon that we take, or B, we take Doublade. I decided to not go with Doublade because it'll just add another ground type weakness. The immunity to fighting is really nice, but it's very slow, and it could be really overwhelming. It's great with Shadow Sneak, but it's not Aegislash. It's not as good as Aegislash in my opinion. It's knockoff fodder. It's not only really weak to knock off, it doesn't want to get knocked off, and that's the main plan against it every single time. So we decided to pick a different steel type in the lower tier to pick up this Pokemon, Tangela. So Tangela is going to be our second half of our regenerator core to pair along with Tornadus. This Pokemon is so thick. Now we have another really reliable ground type resist, as well as an electric type resist and a water type resist for Colossal, which could be really nice, as well as the Hippowdon. So being able to spread sleep powders, spread leech seeds, knockoffs, take a hit, regenerator back out, just like how Tornadus does, is going to be super nice for Tangela. It's like I said, it's a really good it's a really good regenerator piece to pair with Tornadus. So great Mon. Defensively, phenomenal Pokemon. It's our first actual Mon, and I think it's our only Mon that we're only gonna have Eviolite on. So all the other Mons probably don't want to run Eviolite. Tangela does because it's so thick. That's Boots. Now with the next pick, we have to pick that steel type that we have to make up for the loss of Doublade. So we picked up a really low tier steel that I'm actually kind of excited to use. It's a very niche, probably won't come to a lot of matchups, but if my opponent doesn't have a steel type resist, or doesn't have a good one anyway, it's coming. Kling Klang is what we picked up next. Kling Klang for only 40 points was a steal. Having access to shift gear, it does get coverage in Wild Charge as well as Volt Switch. It's got Magnetize. It's very niche, but it could come pretty handy in some matchups. So it's got a base 90 speed, which is pretty fast if you ask me for a steel type. So Kling Klang could be really nice for the squad, being able to be a low tier undercover sweeper. So we'll see how we can maneuver this thing. So now we have our Fairy Dragon Steel core, and we have our Fire Water Grass core. So I'm super excited to kind of pair those two cores to be able to have a little bit more versatility for resistances. Why is that important? Having cores like that allow you to have more switch mobility to switch in on resisted hits, if that makes sense. So very excited to have that. Now notice I only have 40 points. I have to pick two Pokemon in the lowest tier. So I wanted to get the best value possible. This Pokemon shouldn't have been there. I think it was a mishap. I think we did it on accident. It flew under the radar. We picked up Noctowl. Noctowl is a normal type that is needed because Spectrier, Mr. Ghost Horse, is a thing. That Pokemon is a threat. So having an immunity is really, really nice. I almost got, no cap, I almost got swept by a Noctowl week number 1 against mid Pokemaster. This thing gets Nasty Plot and Agility and the ability Tinted Lens. What Tinted Lens does, if there's a resisted hit that you're going for on a Pokemon, it boosts the damage by 2. So Hurricanes, Air Slashes, if you bring in your Steel type, now those moves are boosted 2 times and it is no longer a resist. So this thing could be a very threatening offensive presence in some matchups, and it gives us another ground immunity plus defog. So now we have defog on Tornadus, we have defog on Noctowl, removal on Colossal is really, really nice. So 3 different ways to get rid of hazards as of right now. So Noctowl, very good Pokemon at the value that it was placed in. So happy to have it. Very, very happy to have it. So now with the very last pick, we had to pick something of value for this team, not just the best Pokemon that was in that tier. We kind of did that already with Noctowl. So I wanted to pick up something that we can still use within Sand. Having another Sand Abuser would be really nice. And in some matchups, this Pokemon could be really, really good, if not MVP caliber, just for the matchup. For the very last pick of the BBR draft for season number 3, the San Diego Snugglers decided to pick up Baby Drill, aka Drillbur. Now, let's validate a little bit. Let's talk about it. Drillbur is a pure ground type. It does not have the steel type. It doesn't get the steel type until it evolves into Excadrill. It does still get access to Mold Breaker, Sand Rush, and Sand Force, just like Excadrill does. Why is that important? It's got base 85 attack, pure ground type. Earthquake is a base 100 attack, guys, and stab boosted. That can still dent teams. It's not going to sweep. It does still have access to Swords Dance, but it's just going to dent teams. If in some matchups, you know what? I think it still does get Swords Dance. I could be wrong. I'm pretty positive it does. Drillbur, let's look at it right now. Drillbur, do you get access to Swords Dance? It does. So you never know. Focus Sash plus Swords Dance, sweep teams, you never know. But I'm not really going to run a Violet on it very much. Probably Focus Sash, Choice Band, Life Orb. That's the idea. As well as not only being a threatening Sand Sweeper, it also could be a really good way for us to reliably always set up rocks. With Mold Breaker, I can ignore Magic Bounce from Xatu, Espeon, Hatterene, all those Pokemon. I can always lead with it, set up rocks, die. Maybe get a little bit of chip damage. It also is a rapid spinner. So now we have another form of removal. Apparently words are hard today. But Drillbur, I'm very excited for. This Pokemon is going to be a threat. In some matchups, Drillbur's going to be a threat. Shout out to Drillbur, man. Look at him. He's just so happy to be here. He's just happy he got picked. He's the little brother that your mom forced you to bring to the movies. You're on a date. You can't go to the date unless you bring your little brother. Here comes Drillbur just to take all your popcorn. So this is the team, guys. I didn't say the nicknames for the rest of the mons because I haven't fully decided what I want to nickname them just yet. I may go with the theme. I said Mustachio for Tornadus, but I haven't really decided on that. I'll find out what I want to do that. Leave a comment down below if you guys have an idea for any nicknames. I would definitely love to take some suggestions from you guys. That'd be awesome. But this is the team for the 3rd season of the BBR, our redemption season to get back to the finals. If you're excited for it, if you're hyped, make sure you subscribe, follow me on this journey, smash the thumbs up button, shout out call that some bitch. And with all that being said, I'm gonna get, you know what, before we actually go, just guess who we play. Just guess. Week 1. Schedule's out. Guess who we play. Just freaking guess. Just 3, 2. Oh, we play freaking Matt O'Shea. Again. I can't shake this guy. We're going to go for a rematch of the BBR finals. Whether this was calculated or not, I'm not going to second guess it. I am part of the admin team. I did not make the schedule. It just happened to go that way. That was just the luck of the roll. we beat him during the regular season last season. He beat us in finals. I would have loved to get my revenge on that man. That would be so great. I'm just kind of building up the hype for that game. So if you're excited for it, again, show some love on the like button down below. Now, with all that being said, I'm gonna get the heck up out of here. Have a great rest of your night, and above all else, be nice. Peace.